Seriously though, Kenji's only wish was to finally have his fucking peace and quiet, not be disturbed by Kinzo anymore. What is up with her? Where are you, Beatrice? Show yourself! Beatrice! Rosa finally arrived at the chapel. She pointed her gun around her, screaming the witch's name, but there was no way she would receive an answer. After grimacing slightly, she noisily approached the table where her siblings' corpses still lay exposed and stretched out her arm towards a gold ingot. It was very heavy, but Rosa didn't mind. She wrapped that one up in a blanket and threw it over her shoulder. At least just this one. This alone should be worth over 10 million. Without letting go of her gun, Rosa picked up the gold as well. Her shoulders were screaming, but Rosa didn't mind. It will happen very soon. Very soon the door to the golden land will open. Stop laughing with that creepy voice. Where is Beatrice? Yeah, I know she's around here somewhere, right? You know where, right? Where is she? I don't know. Even if you don't search for her, you'll be able to see her in the golden land. Ouch! Stop laughing like that. It almost makes me want to laugh. That's right, that was definitely a witch, definitely a witch. I didn't understand, I thought she was a human calling herself a witch, but I was wrong. That really was a witch. I won't be fooled by something like that. You're there, right? Come on, show yourself. Beatrice! I told you she'll appear very soon. The door to the golden land will be opened. Now what?
That's right. Isn't that splendid? I care not. I abandon that rug. You women are a king that cannot be reached without the resolve to lose everything one has. I'll corner you, Beatrice. Ya.
At least call me a queen. Oh, what a brilliant move. So your blood, no, the Ushidomiya blood is bad at giving up. How pleasant. What a truly elegant night. What N truly? Shouldn't it be what A truly? Because it's a T? Master, Beatrice-sama, it will soon be time for the banquet.
Already? No, that was fast. Every night I pass with you goes by swiftly. The moon falls like an apple, and the sun leaps out of the river like a small fish.
It is time, so let us go. Rise, battler. The banquet to celebrate my revival will now begin. I'll introduce you as my new furniture, now as my toy, to the dignitaries among witches. The witch was relaxing elegantly, her feet thrown out from the sofa and resting on top of a footrest. However, the footrest wasn't a part of the sofa, but a human down on all fours. Beatrice-sama, your silk dress.
You are the guest of honor, but I am the host. I will go out first. It would have been nice if Shannon were here to help dress you, but unfortunately it seems she no longer remains.
Yeah, you don't seem to care much.
She's never around when I want to use her. An entirely useless person. However, you did well to remain here. I'm happy, my friend.
I am grateful for your words. Good. Wait downstairs, you two. Genji, good work. Set the dress down over there. Certainly. Well then, master.
We will go first. Beatrice, I will see you later.
Indeed. Are they going to the church? Kinzo and Genji left the study. After that, the witch and the dress and the furniture remained. Do you know why I am not embarrassed to show myself to you naked? Wait, she's naked? Where? It's because you're furniture. Furniture. Understand? Furniture. Just furniture. Who would feel shame at exposing their body to furniture? So there's no reason for me to feel shame in front of you. The witch rose and her jacket slipped off just from her shoulders. After that, the jacket fell to the ground with a thump. When the furniture respectfully approached to pick up those clothes, the witch gave it a small kick and it fell over. I suppose we're talking about Battler here. The furniture was afraid of what misconduct it might have shown. Do you as furniture plan to force me to unbutton myself? Stand and undo the buttons, one by one, with care, quickly, gracefully, with no mistakes. The guests are being kept waiting, so change my clothes quickly. Yes. Undo them with care. Those buttons are easy worth more than one of your eyeballs. Each. If you make a mistake and break them, I'll sew your eyeballs in instead. Good lord. Thanks. I'll pass. It would be furniture. Oh. The entrance hall was bustling with a crowd of shadowy people, and it sparkled gold with the gold butterflies flying about. What the fuck is going on? The gentlemen in suits and tuxedos and the ladies in dresses looked like they were having a great number of friendly chats. At a glance it might have looked like a fabulous medieval ball, but they all had one thing in common, and that thing was exceedingly bizarre, because all of them had goat heads. Was it a goat masquerade, or did they really have goat heads? It probably couldn't be the latter, but in this bizarre world I really didn't know it was true. Kinzo was amongst those goat nobles greeting them. Kinzo's greetings were more respectful than would have been expected, as though these were all honored guests. At that time, Genji's voice rang out through the hall. It was a voice calling for silence. That voice stopped the idle chatter, and everyone turned to face Genji.
Tonight we celebrate the appearance of our golden witch who has achieved her revival, the Lady Beatrice. Everyone please welcome her with your applause.
When Genji began to applaud, it quickly spread throughout the guests and became a roaring ovation. Then the Golden Witch appeared from the top of the large staircase. As she gracefully waved her hand, followed by a piece of furniture she was fond of, she slowly descended the staircase. The goat nobles offered unanimous words of celebration in some long-forgotten language, and those who were deeply intimate embraced, filled with joy at the reunion. As the witch offered greetings of reunion, the witch's furniture followed behind her the whole time. There was a chain around its neck. The other end was gripped in the witch's hand like it was a trained dog. It wasn't there to restrain him. Those chains were a restraining device whose only purpose was to wound the furniture's dignity. He wasn't permitted to wear anything else on his body. What, so he's naked? One of the young women goats mixed in with the goat nobles, quietly removed her goat mask as the furniture passed in front of her, and she spoke with eyes that had no light in them. That face seemed to belong to a long-haired young girl. How pitiful. Oh, Lady Berncastle, welcome. Do you like my furniture? That's a nice hobby. After saying only that, the witch called Berncastle once again put on her goat mask and was swallowed up by the shadows of the other tall goats. Ah, sore loser. She's ticked off, isn't she? You're not wrong. The young women goats giggled, and the witch once again let out a high-pitched laugh. Thank you for gathering here for my sake. Why don't we enjoy to the fullest this banquet of the witch, where old friends have gathered from past and present, east and west. Come, we will eat all night, drink all night, slurp all night, and chew to bits all night as we enjoy ourselves. Look at the clock as it marks when the ending hour and the beginning hour melt together. Come, let us begin the banquet of the witch. When the witch announced the beginning of the banquet, the large clock pointed to 24 o'clock, and the sound of a bell began to ring out. Come, now is the time. Open the golden door. What the fuck is going on? All at once, the butterflies, leafed in gold, flew all around the inside of the room. Amidst the golden storm and the brilliant gold color light, the barrier between this world and another was cut open. Surrounded by the goats' delighted voices, the mansion of the human world and the mansion of those not human overlapped, and the members of the household who praised the resurrection of the golden witch scattered into gold butterflies and poured out of the depth of hell. It was a golden tornado. A rondo of golden demons. Come, tonight we will put aside rank. Throw open the wine cellar, drop the snake's head into the liquor pot, throw cows and chickens into the furnace alive, drink and eat and sing and dance, sneer and kill and desecrate and degrade.
Oh, Beatrice, take me to the golden land now, to the golden land.
The goat nobles were suddenly crushing in around Kinzo, almost like they were kids demanding the signature of some famous movie star. There were only two differences. First, these were witches, not kids, and second, what these witches demanded was not a signature. The sea of goat nobles began to drown Kinzo. Only Kinzo's laughing voice echoed throughout the area. It was a grand mixture of laughter and his death throes, and Kinzo became wine and meat and bread. An aroma of slurped, a rich taste of gnawed, and pleasant to tear to bits. The sound of his death throes lingered on sweetly, and if adorned with melted chocolate and golden argent, it would make a wonderful dessert. If you took the bones home, you could also use them in a soup, and the remains could even become toys for the children to play with. And they could also become splendid tools for fortune-telling that always brought misfortune. That entire scene was watched by the furniture. It was all fantastical. It was all demonic. Was the quaking of its supposedly paralyzed heart proof that it could still feel fear? At that time, its knees buckled, and the furniture's body fell down in the middle of the carpet. After all, the witch had kicked those knees from behind. Kneel and show your respect. Rub your forehead against the carpet and show how vulgar you are. Put your hands behind your back and swear that you will offer all your flesh and blood to me. The furniture let out a painful voice. Fear is the most basic emotion humans have. Was that emotion reviving his sense of self, which should already have been slain? So you are still far from suitable for my furniture. Very well. I will carefully finish you, making you into the kind of furniture I like, the kind fitting only for me. As you are now, I doubt you can offer more than entertainment for our guests. The goat nobles were surrounding the crouching furniture. It seemed their blazing blood-red eyes couldn't hide their ecstasy at this new young food they had been given. And from the ugly teeth that stuck out of countless mouths, saliva, or maybe the traces of meat and wine that they had just eaten, dribbled down. As the furniture let out a wild scream, it retreated, still sitting on its backside, but the circle of goat nobles was closing in. Then the furniture looked at the witch's face. It had surrendered to the witch, so believing that the witch would show some compassion, it stared at her face in the end. But there was nothing but scorn on the witch's face, and she wasn't even facing the furniture anymore. The witch went off to greet an honored guest with whom she had crossed gazes. The goat nobles looked down upon the furniture. Actually, they had been waiting. Just like how one must remove the cork in order to drink champagne, they had to wait for one thing before partaking of the offering served at this banquet. Of course, the furniture didn't know about this thing, but it came out of his mouth all by itself. Just like the unavoidable pop of a cork, it inevitably came out of his mouth. It was a scream. It was the sign that marked the beginning of the modest banquet at which he was to be served. Well, yay. How pleasant. By now the garden was one of both roses and gold. Gold-colored garden, where gold butterflies, gold fairies, and gold lizards rampaged and flew about wildly. Maria, quickly, run! Quickly, 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 quickly! Rosa grasped her gun and the blanket wrapped around the ingot, and ran at a speed Maria couldn't match, sometimes pausing to call out at Maria to run faster. So she saw it every time. She saw the golden pursuers chasing them from the mansion. Yeah, you're dead. The mass of gold butterflies was chasing after them like a massive crawling hand, and strange-looking shadows with goat heads were chasing after them. There was no need for her to strain her eyes, because those blazing pupils told her what would happen if she was captured. Mama, wait! No! Maria fell down. For just an instant, Rosa was ashamed by thoughts of abandoning her daughter and running away, and at the instant her feet touched the ground, she ran back. Oh, the goat head that had sprinted over to get the first bite, grabbed hold of the back of Rosa's own child's hair and pulled. Oh my God! Rosa rammed into the goat head with her shoulder, roared, spun, bashed the back of her elbow into the goat's jaw, and buried her knee into its protruding chest. And she thrust the barrel of the gun inside the goat head's mouth as it doubled over from the pain in its gut. Just try laying one finger on Maria in front of me. I'll show you just how lukewarm the hell you came from is. Damn. The blast from the Winchester's .45 caliber long Colt bullet exploded inside the goat head's throat, and its medulla oblongata, that's a bone, I think, was instantly pulverized. The goat head hadn't understood. It had thought women were like pre-opened wine bottles. It had thought that turning them upside down would immediately make their deep red contents come out. Mama! Mama! Maria, who had been released, hugged Rosa. But the pursuers were still coming. They could see the giant goat heads who had given up pretending to be human running towards them from across the rose bushes. Rosa spilled several extra bullets, which had been in the pocket of her coat, all over the place and told Maria to pick them up. Yes, pick up, pick up. Maria, if Mama falls down, run. Go to the shore. And swim, and swim, and swim. There's nowhere for us to survive on this island. No, I'll stay with Mama. What happened with being happy to enter the Golden Land, Maria? You don't seem so happy anymore. Rosa's gun roared 4 times, but even though 4 shots really did hit the massive approaching goats in the chest, they didn't even flinch. The goats ran with a violent vigor as though they planned to crush Rosa and Maria with those massive bodies. Put the bullets in, quickly! Rosa grasped the blanket with the ingot in both hands. How about you just leave that there? And she herself sprinted, pulling it along, without even an ounce of fear of those strange-looking giants. If it's to protect my daughter, I'll overcome even hell. I'll show you this golden dream. Rosa roared. The goat heads roared. That terribly heavy ingot, after picking up a fearsome centrifugal force and speed, slammed into the head of the goat head. Oh, so, okay, she's throwing it away. Rosa pulled a fountain pen from her pocket, but she held it crooked. She placed it in her palm, in the gap between her middle finger and her ring finger, so that it stuck out when she made a fist, almost like a stinger was growing out of it. That stinger sliced into the left eye of the goat head as it fell over. Was the goat head's roar a scream? But Rosa's roar was different. She pulled back her fist and slammed it into the fountain pen that was still sticking into the goat head's eye. Man, she's going crazy. The pointed tip was gouged into the depths of its head. Mama, the bullet went in! Good job. When Rosa grabbed the gun Maria had thrown, the giant finally tumbled on the ground with a thunderous crash. However, at the same time, I saw the goat-head pursuers on the other side of the rose bushes increase in number. I've gained enough distance for now. I held onto the blanket wrapped around the ingot and the gun, and once again ran with Maria. Oh, now it's first person. Why am I running with the gun in my right hand and the gold in my left? Why don't I let go with one hand and grasp Maria's hand? Seriously, I can't let go of the gun that protects my body. I can't let go of the gold that protects my future. But even so, I've let go of the hand of my daughter, the one who is my future. Run, run, run. She got out of the rose garden and began to run down the staircase, through a grove of trees. But Rosa knew. This path through the grove turned and twisted many times and only seemed to be long. She tore straight through it. She had played here often since her childhood years, so she knew. To the beach, to the beach, to the sea, to the sea, to the sea. And after reaching the sea, nothing to do but swim, swim, swim. And if Maria can swim, I'll carry her as I swim. Yeah, but what about the gold? You just gotta fucking leave it here. There's nothing but death on this island. Yeah, Mama! As she raced down the stairs, she took a bad step. A violent pain ran up her left ankle. Oh, you're dead. And her mind went completely blank. Rosa fell down several stairs, shocked by her ankle, which was bent and at an odd angle. Oh no. And the blanket with the ingot wasn't there. She had let go of it the instant she fell, and it had disappeared somewhere into the darkness. Only the gun was left. Tremors in the earth were getting closer. It was only a matter of time before the goat heads flooded in. She didn't want to imagine how many there would be or how strange they would look. The lightly dancing gold pursuers arrived. The gold butterflies surrounded Rosa and Maria, waving and clamoring as though saying, "The prize is here, the prize is here." Rosa couldn't even try to get up. The violent pain from her broken ankle was so great that she couldn't ignore it, even in her last moments. Oh, what am I doing? I had the gold, which would have been worth several million yen. I might have been able to start over with that. And yet I fell, lost it, and now my own life is in danger, and Maria's too. What has my life been? I was born into an incomprehensible family, with irritating older siblings since the day I was born. What did I do? No matter what I did or didn't do, I was always in trouble and bullied and made fun of. What has my life been? The roar inside Rosa's heart shriveled away and disappeared. It disappeared when she heard Maria's crying voice as she sobbed and clung to Rosa. Maria, Mama remembered something she's got to do. Please go on ahead. No. I want to stay with Mama. I don't want Mama to die. Maria, even though I'm such a bad Mama, you still say you want to stay with me? Yeah, I want to stay with you. I want to stay with Mama. I made it look like I was putting you first, but I was always putting you off. I went to your athletic meet. I went to Parents' Day, but I was always thinking about how I appear to the world, and you were never in my eyes. Are you saying that you want to stay with that kind of mother, even though I've been such a bad mother? Hey, Mama, did you know? You're the only mama in this world. There's no good mama or bad mama. There's just one mama. So I don't need any other mama in this world. And I want to be your one and only Maria. The Maria you want to spoil when you're in a good mood, and the Maria who's a nuisance you don't want to be around are different people. There's only one Maria, so the scary mama and the nice mama are the same. To me, they're my one and only mama. I was such an idiot. I didn't need gold. If only I had just pulled you by the hand. Yeah, seriously, I was such a stupid mama. The shadows of the goats covered the sky even more thoroughly than the trees of the forest. The roars blotted out the world with fear. Rosa, still hugging Maria, readied her gun with one hand. Maria, let's go together. I'll never leave you. Let's always stay together so that Mama never gets lost again. Yeah, we'll be able to see each other soon. We'll be together forever. We'll be able to see each other in the Golden Land. And then we'll play together. Play with the wolves and sheep puzzle. Mama hasn't solved more than one of the puzzles, but I've solved them all. So I'll be the riddle giver. She had bought it as a birthday present, and then hadn't played it with Maria after that first night. Yes, we'll play together. I promise. Mama! Those eyes, sparkling like red-hot lava, looked just like a group of fireflies. They danced, closed in, and attacked. Come on. Let whoever wants to eat the bullet Maria chambered for me step forward. When the seagulls cried, there were no survivors. Oh. The Golden Witch has prepared a gift for you in commemoration of your stay. Has she? Is it a new tea party? Or is it a new one of... No. Maybe this comes after this. I guess it's this. It's getting late, but I think I'll have a look into this. Purgatorio. Now what? Rosa awoke from her doze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy and she wasn't thinking clearly. Where is this? It felt like some mansion, but it didn't seem to be the Ushidomiya mansion. She could see a room that looked like a parlor, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It had probably been made for her. Around the room, some glitter that looked like gold leaf drifted about, making the scene look quite fantastical. When she eventually realized that there were gold butterflies, it further strengthened that impression. There was someone across from her, a woman, a lady. It was the portrait's witch. She seemed to be having a one-sided conversation. She was probably talking to Rosa, but Rosa, whose mind was clouded up by a deep fog, didn't have a clue what was being said. Choose whatever you please. If there is anything you want, I'll give it all to you. You can think of it as a reward for your good luck, or else as proper compensation for how you've answered to my demands. It may have been a truly trivial matter from your perspective, however, the deal was important enough to me to be deserving of this reward. What is she talking about? I don't know. It's just that I am very much a witch. Perhaps you'd best ask for something only a witch can give you. What a rare chance this is, to actually receive the favor of Beatrice the Golden, me. Finally, Rosa started to feel the blood flowing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish and she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking. I am commonly called the Golden Witch. Bestowing a mountain of gold like the one I gave Kinzo is trivial to me. After all, you can measure all the pleasures of the human world with money. Therefore, gold is no more or less than the manifestation of the human world's pleasures. Character menu? Oh. Genji missing. Selfless furniture seeks nothing but repose in the Golden Land. However, since the fool obstinately rejects the Golden Land, it seems his time for repose is unlikely to come soon. Afterwards, he was torn to pieces and eaten by demons and went to hell. We had those. There's no corpse yet, he's dead. Missing. In the Golden Land, she finally found a treasure more precious than gold. However, it only lasted a brief time. Because of a fool, she was forced to once again lose what she had finally found. Afterwards, she was chewed into a pulp by demons and went to hell. Missing. In the Golden Land, she learned that her mother still truly loved her. At least for now, she is satisfied. I think this is still the same. He finally reached the Golden Land he so desired to see. However, since the fool was unwilling to accept it, the magic was wasted once again. Even so, he was probably happy. After all, he managed to be reunited with the Golden Witch, if only for a brief time. Afterwards, he was crushed to bits and eaten by demons and went to hell. Can you imagine it? A mountain of gold that you couldn't use up as long as you lived. As the witch blew on her pipe, multicolored smoke enshrouded their surroundings. As she did this, the inside of the parlor was suddenly filled with stacks of gold ingots. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth several 10 million yen, how much would all of this be worth? It seemed sinful to even think of such a number. However, the human world is difficult. I know there are some things that cannot be settled, no matter how high into the sky you pile up gold. I know there are cracks that cannot be filled. I won't make light of that, which is why this is a gift that only a witch such as I can give. Why don't I fill those cracks in for you? Yes, how about this? It's something only I can give. You should be very happy. No need to thank me out loud. I can tell right away. It's written on your face and in the corners of your heart. Rosa felt a touch of discomfort at this witch, who kept on talking even though Rosa hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't manage to speak and was so helpless that it was difficult to even move a finger, she couldn't do anything but listen. How far must the deep wounds in your heart recede before they can be healed? This is deep, quite deep indeed. Sometimes wounds close up while a fragment of foreign matter remains inside. Even when such wounds appear to have healed, they continue to throb for all eternity. Sometimes you have to open the wound once more in order to heal it completely. As the witch spoke, she stared deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away. So, your pain was already fated by the time of your birth. How heartbreaking. You don't have to say it. I understand. I understand. Rosa was gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes. Then the world grew dark, spinning round and round as she was sucked in. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Klaus Nissan's voice. Klaus Nissan is a real adult, so he's very smart. So he hated the stupid kid Rosa. He was a very scary person. I was often hit and my toys were taken from me and broken. I was apparently being punished for something bad I had done, but I never really understood what it was or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly and then later told what the punishment was for in a forced manner, but it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Klaus Nissan. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Eva Nissan's voice. Eva Nissan is a real adult, so she's very smart. So she hated this stupid kid Rosa. She was always a very sly person, and she often lied to me, tricked me, bullied me all the time. Apparently I was stupid, and she said it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Eva Nissan and listen to what she said, but when I obeyed her, for some reason someone always got really mad at me. So I really hated Eva Nissan. How nice. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Rudolf Nissan's voice. Rudolf Nissan really knows how to get things done, so he hated the stupid kid Rosa. When Klaus Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Klaus Nissan. When Eva Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Eva Nissan. And when Klaus Nissan wasn't around, he would He would be violent like Klaus-Nissan, and when Eva-Nissan wasn't around, he would play dirty like Eva-Nissan. And even though he was also bullied most of the time, when Klaus-Nissan and Eva-Nissan weren't around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. So I really hated Rudolf Nissan. Oh, but these were my memories from when I was a kid. It's common for unfair things to happen between kids, and you mustn't hold on to grudges for such things forever. With time, those memories get buried away, and forgetting them bit by bit is supposed to be part of growing up and becoming an adult. So becoming an adult is the same as separating yourself from all those memories, and because of that, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult. Oh, even though she had been blessed with a daughter called Maria and was called a mother, she didn't at all feel like she had become an adult. The witch pitied her for that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal that pain herself. How can I heal you? It's possible, but not easy. I might rewind time and giving you a world where you have no older siblings. But that way your memories of being hurt by your older siblings wouldn't remain, and in that sense, while you might call it a gift, you wouldn't be able to accept it. A person is only satisfied when their starvation is healed, but if you make it so they never starved in the first place, none of them will thank you. Just like how there are no young people who give thanks for their daily gluttony. Understand? I think she's telling me something really complicated. In short, even if she makes it so I never had older siblings, that wouldn't remove my pain. Maybe that's what she's saying. Strictly speaking, that's not quite right. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure we earn as compensation for withstanding pain. Therefore, removing the pain isn't healing. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain. Which means you must know joy in order to compensate for your pain. You should be proud of your past sufferings. After all, they are what make it possible for you to know pleasure that those without pain will never experience. Those who experience this pleasure cannot help but pass on the same joy to others. When the witch snapped her fingers, even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and had already lost all semblance of reality, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table, and a wonderful meal was laid out, almost as though it was the opening of a banquet in a castle from some fairy tale. For an instant, Rosa truly did feel a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was, but at the same time she felt a bit of anticlimax. After all, she didn't think being bullied by her siblings could be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious. Food is the source of many human pleasures. You simply must eat like a pig as long as you live. If one meal isn't enough, then have as many as you want, until the pain of your heart is healed. Why not continue this gourmet banquet? Begin at furniture. As the witch clapped twice, there were suddenly 2 goat-head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it up on Rosa's plate. It really did look delicious, but Rosa's body still felt as heavy as lead, and there was no way she'd be able to eat. Maybe they also understood that. The goat-head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar and gallantly brought a glass of before-dinner alcohol to her mouth, tilting it for her. She remembered an old servant who had once carried rice porridge to her mouth when she was laid up with a high fever. She couldn't drink it well, and it dripped down from her mouth, but she felt the fragrant sweetness spread throughout her mouth. It's a sweet aperitif of noble rot German-made wine. Oh, German-made wine. A wine cocktail of white wine mixed with a crimson golden drop. If I had to give it a name, I would call it a Bloody Klaus. Soaked with just a golden drop of your brother's blood that was squeezed out of a compressor. Well, that took a sudden turn. Rosa coughed violently, and the bright red that stained her face made it look as though she had coughed up blood. You know a lot about black tea, so you should know what it means, right? Golden drop refers to the last drop in a drink. It is called the most precious drop in black tea. So a golden drop of blood is the same. The last and most precious drop of blood squeezed out of a human. We squeeze it out using that. As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil that had been set up before something large was removed. The solemn and massive machine that was just like a coffin for a large-sized person with many large bulb-like things stuck to it, and it looked like a sinister torture device. By its unnerving shape, she could tell that with a human's strength it could be used to tighten and compress something, and it seemed that there were still some squeezed dregs remaining because of the bright red remains that stained it. But you can't take more than one golden drop at once. No matter what kind of human you take it from, you can't get more than one drop. But I am a witch. Reviving a person is easy for me. When the witch snapped her fingers, the human compressor suddenly began to shake. No, she could also hear a groan. It looked almost as though someone sleeping in that man-sized coffin had woken up and was now struggling to get out. But that was wrong. What was inside definitely had been squeezed to dregs. Using her magic, the witch had once again revived the squeezed dregs to how they had been before they were squeezed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor and forcefully started tightening the large bulb. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Oh man, Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice. It is fitting for cooking to be done in the kitchen. Enough, stand back. Do you understand how precious a golden drop is? To have it stained this crimson requires that several dozen people's worth be squeezed. The witch definitely said that only 1 golden drop could be taken from a single human, and yet she had dozens of people's worth of golden drops from a single human. Only a witch could do this. The Golden Witch Beatrice could kill a single human endlessly. In other words, before Beatrice, even death did not mean freedom. Do you need me to put it a different way? Have you forgotten the day this man hit you, when you swallowed the blood that ran into your mouth? That's right, remember that taste. Remember the taste of the tears that you spilled until you were dry. I believe this apparative will be sufficient to heal that regrettable memory. Once again, the goat-head servants tilted the deep red glass against her mouth. Rosa tried resisting by closing her lips, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which hung open with shock, and the inside of her mouth was filled with a ghastly sweetness. It definitely was a fragrant sweetness. The living blood of her brother, who had given her such hateful thoughts and made her soak her pillows so many times, had been collected from his death, repeated dozens of times. How could the crimson-stained wine not be sweet? But Rosa tried to spit it out. Because of that, the deep red wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth looked just like a bloodstain. Now that she knew that this ghastly substance wasn't a simple apparative, Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued. That is a double-tongued salad made from vegetables in season. On your 9th birthday, you made a wish that you'd someday get to chew this to bits. This salad made from Eva's tongue. Oh, nice. When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up in the salad, she had a sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in it and carried it to Rosa's mouth. No! How does your double-tongued sister taste? It must be quite soft and enchanting, right? It probably would be quite sweet, soft and enchanting in her mouth. After all, Eva's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. And you might say the stimulating pepper seasoning expressed the truth behind those lies well. As the tongue salad that kept being pushed into Rosa's mouth was covered with saliva, she spat it out, but the goat-head servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over and over again. It goes without saying, but I made the salad liberally, using 5 of Eva's tongues. Oh man, it's fucked up. You can't get more than 1 tongue out of a person, but I can get them over and over. As Rosa's tears dripped down, she resisted frantically. However, the only way she could resist was by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly permeated Rosa's mouth. Does it not please you? There's lots more. Sea bass pie wrapped in the skin of Rudolph. I can't say I like this menu. Can we go to a different restaurant? Soup with boiled brains, liver pate, and look forward to dessert. It's not just your siblings, see? I have lavishly assembled all of those whom you have trusted, yet by whom you were betrayed. Why don't we continue this banquet for all eternity until your heart is satisfied? Yeah, I don't think healing a heart works like that, Beatrice. For all eternity. You happy, right, Oshiro Mia Rosa? Don't pretend you hate it. I know that you're actually happy, Kay. If you want to laugh, then do so, and if you won't feel better until you've heard a raw performance of your annoying older sibling's screams, I'll let you hear them as much as you like. Fear not, your reluctance doesn't trouble me. It's just your personality, right? On the inside, you're actually so happy that your skin is crawling all over. And yet, on the outside, you're merely pretending that all this causes you pain, yes? Rosa must feel so much better now. Yeah, totally. It's all right. Here, there's no need to worry about honor or your public image or anything, so laugh as much as you want and chew it to bits. Isn't this the best banquet, Ushido Rosa? Please stop. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to leave desserts as a surprise, but let me reveal it now anyways. Maybe that will be enough incentive for you to eat up the full course. Your dessert is that beloved, oh no, daughter that you had to keep pretending to love. Oven-baked Sorry I'm laughing, but that is just so absurd. Oven-baked Maria with apples. Doesn't that sound yummy? Once you eat this, you will be released from everything. Freedom, you see, freedom. I see now why this is called purgatory. Finally, Rosa will gain freedom as an individual person. Aren't you happy? You should be happy. Drool is hanging from your mouth. Just try looking in a mirror. Suddenly, a muscular goat cook was holding Maria under his arm. And Maria gazed at Rosa with a face that was only slightly sad. Mama, was I a burden? You aren't a burden. As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried to her mouth, as she was covered with filth and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed. If you think I'm a burden, I don't mind if you eat me. After all, I'm always doing horrible things to you. Even when you bring a man over, I can stay quiet. When you spend the night out with a man, I get lonely and unruly and make a mess of my room. When I go to search by myself, I get lost. The police pick me up, and you're shamed. When you don't come home for several days and I cry and have to be consoled by the neighbors, you're shamed. What, she doesn't come home for several days? What the fuck? Because I'm a burden to Mama. Sorry for being born. So I become delicious oven-baked apples for Mama's sake. And then maybe Mama will be happy I exist for the first time. Maybe she'll eat me and think I'm delicious. Isn't delicious? Be choked up with tears of gratitude. Your daughter is saying this much for you, right? Oven-baked apples and your beloved daughter make for the best dessert. You've managed to raise such delicious ingredients. Aren't you the best mother, Ushido Rosa? Mama, thanks for everything. Bye-bye. Wait, Maria, that's wrong. Stop it already, No, I didn't want something like this. Please forgive me, please stop. No, stop it already. No. Have you been satisfied with my hospitality? Yeah, do you have a dictionary? You may want to look up hospitality. I think it means something else. Then I'll have you accept it, that I am a witch. Proclaim it. Ushido Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. I accept it. Ushido Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. So give Maria back. Release me. I finally made you acknowledge it. That crafty battler has already surrendered, and I made Rosa, the fool who denied me even after being invited to the Golden Land, accept it. Perfect. It's perfect. I've accomplished my perfect victory. But in that case, what is episode 3 gonna be about? Come, bring Maria. Prepare a delicious oven roast for Rosa. No! Looks delicious. Slice up your cow tits and make me a sandwich. What the hell? What, that voice? An arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. What the fuck? As it did, the witch broke to pieces, turned into a cloud of gold butterflies, and reformed into her body a short distance away. But Battler? You bastard! I thought you surrendered so far that even your soul was furniture. Me too. But while I was listening to that gross recipe, I started to get a little hungry. Now I feel like eating a whole roast witch. And Maria, it's 10 years too early for you to talk about having someone eat you up. Nice one. 10 out of 10 points, Battler. But in 10 years, you better say that to me. Okay, I just take all the points away again. You just ruined it. Why did you have to say that? Oh, Battler. It's like doing perfect. You know what? Just go away. Oh, promise. Battler-kun. Sorry to keep you waiting on Rosa. I'd forgotten. This is a one-on-one fight between me and this woman. It's totally wrong for me to give in. Thanks to you hanging in there, I've got my will to fight back. This person, he gave up down to the depths of his soul and surrendered to me, didn't he? I see, he doesn't know when to give up. Just what I'd expect from Ushido Miyakinzo's grandchild. So the cheek of a phoenix is a phoenix after all. Huh. How dashing, how amusing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have you any other way, Battler. Try to deny me, I'll complete and thoroughly smash you to bits. Let me make you surrender over and over again. I'll teach you, one who has licked my shoes, the taste of defeat over and over again. No problem. I'll teach you that I, Ushido Miya Battler, and am a man who can stand back up, even after crawling through the mud. I've never been invincible in a fight. I've lost loads of times. But I'll definitely crawl through the mud and stand up again. And then I'll finish this. In a man's fight, you don't lose until you accept defeat, no matter how much you get beat up. Didn't you accept defeat already, though? Don't think I'm out just because you took a shot at me. I'll give you a good show, Beatrice. Objection. Accept your challenge, Ushido Miya Battler. Furniture, begin preparations for the next game. While we're waiting, why don't you tell me all about it? There were a lot of closed rooms in this game. Using red, I've smashed to bits most of the methods by which you try to talk yourself out of them. What other evasive quibbles will you show me now? The lock to the chapel, the lock to Jessica's room, the lock to the servant room, the lock to Natsuhi's room, the lock to the parlor. Use your bizarre speciality, those delusions, rantings, daydreams, and bluffs. All slanted with ridiculous, incredible turns of events, and show how you can thoroughly deny me. No, it's useless. It's all useless. Well, that fit perfectly. Time-wise, I mean. I thought of stopping at 11 o'clock. It's like the game knows. Yeah. True. Alright. I suppose after this there's going to... What? Yeah, there's still episode 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. But who knows how long that's gonna take. So, and I have been tired all day, so much that I fell asleep at the table at one point. So I'll definitely not do that today. Go and rest. Yeah, I rested a bit earlier, but I definitely have to go to bed now. By the courtesy of Hats Unlimited. Cool, can I have unlimited hats? Then again, I don't wear hats, so I could sell them though. Did we hear the song with lyrics in the first time as well? I mean, I know this song plays without lyrics in the game. Okay. So next time is going to be episode 3. And I think you said something about episode 3 being pretty amazing or something. Then again, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe I don't even want to hear anything about that. We'll just see. And next time, first of all, there's going to be the question mark thing, episode 2. And then we'll start episode 3. And yeah, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I might have additional streams during the week from now on for I don't know how long. I don't know if it even is going to happen or not. It really has to be kind of spontaneous, has to depend on when Aiden falls asleep or not. And yeah, also how fit I am, and of course those if other people are actually available. Like, I'm not going to stream if nobody has time. So I will usually just ask around, and if it's fine for everybody, I will start the stream, even during the week. Because, I mean, considering this is a very long game, it would definitely be beneficial also for the plot advancement and all to have a few more streams than usual. Alright, that's it for now. I'll stop the recording.